Mhm. 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 All right.
Hello.
Hi. There's also Katie, but I can't see her yet.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's no video for some reason.
Oh, just a second.
Check your settings, please. Okay, seems to be all right.
Yes.
So it's being recorded. There's a video. Is the sound all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So only two. Okay, yeah, well, the others are going to join very soon, yeah, because there were 8 people. So today we're supposed to have a whole crowd. Okay. Well, how's the day or like today and September? Is it busy or is it quite free?
Today I have a free day.
Free day. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. That's why you look so relaxed. I see.
Yes.
Okay. Oksana, how about you?
Oh, my September is incredibly busy. Incredibly busy.
Do you mean you don't have time to relax at all?
Almost don't have time.
Okay.
Only one day. It's the best variant. A week that I have a day off. I work even on Sunday.
Even on Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
Some people choose to work at weekends but have days off. Don't you do that? Okay. Yelena, I see you.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi. And Irina, hello.
Hello.
Okay. So now there are 5 of them. More people are coming. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and me. Okay, and then this means that there are. How many more people are expected? Okay, more people are expected. Oh, okay. If they come, we'll let them in. All right. So, can everybody hear me well?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Irina, can you say something because I didn't hear you?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I talked a little bit to everybody else, but I didn't hear you. So today I decided to do the practical part of what we didn't actually do much in our seminars. Yes, like when we were talking Marina about how we do this, we thought that that would be a good idea to do the theoretical part of the seminars, a bit of practice maybe in the seminars, but mostly your practice would be in your work. But what I discovered is that if we don't practice in the seminars, then not all of you are easily able to put this into practice in your lessons. So like, and we're experimenting and finding the best ways to help you. And for example, we decided to organize this practical workshop. So before we do that, has everybody participated or seen the seminar about presenting target language?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So does everybody remember what FUMP is?
What?
F-U-M-P.
Form.
Okay.
Practice.
Form, sorry.
Practice.
So it's F-U-M-P. Form. Use. Use or appropriacy. Yeah, like it's with A. Okay. Then meaning and
pronunciation.
Pronunciation. Briefly, why is it important? Why do we need to remember this FUMP? What is it?
Because they're the most important.
The most important for what?
For knowing everything, language and grammar, and for using it, for understanding it.
Mhm.
Be able to apply in real life, not only like to
Mhm.
form, use, and like know the meaning, but then no practice, then the student will not be able to use it in real life, apply it in real life.
Mhm. So this FUMP is regarded as a full like collection of information which you need to know about target language. So you need to know form, use, meaning, and pronunciation. And well, it's supposed to be enough. Mhm. But this is what you need to know. Okay. And I remember we were talking about the order in which you this. And we faced the situation when in one case, like the pronunciation comes first and the meaning, blah, blah, blah. But when we as teachers focus on this, what's the best way or one of the best ways? Or probably what should definitely go first when presenting the target language? So this FUMP, F-U-M-P, what goes first?
Form?
Usage.
Form?
Usage.
Mhm.
When to use it.
I'm sorry, somebody has a bad sound.
I haven't. So I think that it is usage. To use, when to use it, and how to use it.
I think that this is pronunciation because student hears this word first, and then he or she understands the form, using, and meaning.
I will change the question a little bit.
Okay.
It seems to me that you're talking about what the student faces naturally. I remember we talked about that if we read, then we encounter the use and form first, right? Then we think about the meaning, blah, blah, blah. When we listen, first goes pronunciation and so on and so forth. But if we are presenting this target language at the lesson, what do we focus on? What do we focus the student's attention on first?
Form. I think form.
Meaning?
No. If it's form, it will be like you are trying to understand the form of something you don't understand.
I think meaning because students should understand what does it mean at first, and then everything else. And then maybe he or she will use it, but at first it's meaning.
First goes meaning, because like looking at the form of what you don't understand is a bit strange. Like, why do I need to look at the form of it if I don't know what this is? So this is at least how it's explained. Hello, Mila.
Hi.
Okay. What did I do?
Thanks.
Okay. It makes me feel better.
And I also have this, like, sorry.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. And it's warm.
Nice. Okay. Very nice. Yeah. All right. So first goes meaning. What? Mila, we're talking about in which order we focus on FUMP. Use, meaning, pronunciation, and we've just come that the meaning should go first. Okay.
Pronunciation? If you know the meaning,
Or form.
I think that form is better because when you pronounce, you need to understand what you pronounce. Right? What exactly? So meaning, form, then
Pronunciation. And use?
And use, yes. Frankly, we don't always like really focus on use because if it's neutral and can be used in most situations, like we just don't speak about it. Or if it's elementary level, for example, okay, well, it's not what they are really able to analyze. Yeah, so maybe in some cases. So, meaning, form, pronunciation, use. Okay. The next question, which is obvious, but I have to ask it, how do we focus on this elements? What do we do?
ask questions.
Sure. Okay. Good. Thank you. What do we call these questions?
Concept checking
CCQ?
questions.
Yeah, concept check questions, concept checking questions, all right. And let's remember, I was thinking that if we remember 7 characteristics of CCQs, this will be just enough. It will help us start thinking. There are more, but okay, 7 will be enough. So 1, in any order that comes to mind. CCQs should be, or CCQs should be.
Clear, first of all, maybe.
Once again, please.
They should be clear.
Clear,
And,
okay,
like,
good.
Yeah.
General, like yes, no.
General ideas.
Like yes, no. I mean yes, no questions.
Oh, okay. They may be general questions. Okay.
There was something about relevant.
Oh, what?
About relevant.
Okay. Yes, they should. They shouldn't be misleading. Yeah, they should only know what we're talking about. Exactly. Relevant. Okay. Good.
Don't use the target grammar in questions. So if you study new grammar, don't use this target grammar.
Very important. Yes. If you ask this question using this target language, then how will the students understand? Okay. 4. Go on.
I think they should be in logical order.
Absolutely. Very good. Usually it's put as leading.
Leading. Yeah.
In such a way that they lead to the final understanding. Okay.
Don't use unfamiliar vocabulary, as well as new grammar. The same like unfamiliar vocabulary.
Very good. Sometimes it's also described as the level of the question should be lower than the level we're currently learning. Yes, like go down with the level. Okay. One more.
And they can, if there are general questions, they can be like also simple WH questions, like, but simple.
So yes, and simple WH, general, which is usually very leading. And there's one more type of question, which is good when students don't cope with the WH questions.
Question tags, like kind of question tags, like you state and no.
I think alternative questions.
Yeah, exactly. So if you ask what or why, and your students don't have ideas, then you say, is it because of this or because of this? Or does it mean this or does it mean this? Yeah. So if the students can't cope, okay. Well, we've actually 7. Maybe you can remember something else. If yes, we can go on. If not, it's enough. Oh, well, these are actually the main ones, and the others may just give details. Yeah, if we think more, we will remember, but it's enough. Okay, good. This is for us just to, to remember what we're actually talking about. Now, I was thinking about how we can train today. And the logic was as follows. I chose actually 4 bits of target language. They are elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, and children. 10, 12, 10. This age, like 9, 12. Okay, and I was thinking about that. They should be most common levels, then quite complex, like not the easiest thing to present, but so that you had to think of stages. And different areas. I was trying to choose the ones that are not only about tenses, for example, but about different things. Not sure it's perfect, but I at least try. So, I will announce the list of topics, okay? you may choose what to start with. Alternatively, you can offer something which is yours, and then you will share the screen and we will use your material. For example, you had difficulties and you want to ask colleagues for help. Help me how you would present this. Okay? So, mine. I chose elementary. This is and plurals plus pronunciation. 1. 2. Pre-intermediate. It's past continuous. This is tenses, yes? Okay, then intermediate, it's future time clauses. Like tenses, but not exactly tenses. And then children pre-intermediate, young learners pre-intermediate, used to. Let's vote. Who goes for elementary and plurals? Okay, Irina, anybody else? Only Irina, okay, not interesting.
We choose one for everybody, or I didn't get
Yes, yes, now we are choosing what we start with. Okay. Now we need to choose what we start with. Okay. Next. Sorry?
Okay, so now we are starting from elementary.
No, now you need to choose what you want to start with. So, an elementary is not very interesting. Pre-intermediate, past continuous.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. 3. Okay. Yeah. So let's do this now. Okay. So now the procedure. We need to choose somebody first. You will get 5 minutes. Think about these questions or remember them from the lesson you taught. It's our favorite or my favorite. Okay, English Files 3rd edition. You are probably familiar with it. So you remember and write your CCQs, or you think about them. Yes, you create them. 5 minutes for that. After that, you choose the person who presents and the person who plays the student. This is the procedure. So
I have a question.
Okay.
But usually our presentation is already based on something. For example, in that English file, we have already read the text.
Absolutely. Look, I'm trying to.
My first step would be let's underline, let's find.
Sure. I will explain now.
Okay, sorry.
Just a second. For some reason, okay. Yes, I think I have too many windows and I can't see all of them to share with you. Come on. Okay. Close at least one and we'll see what will happen. I'm sorry, I didn't take it into account. I thought that it would show all windows and I will easily share. Still, it's not showing. Just a second.
See all windows on Zoom. You have an arrow to show all windows.
Yes, and I'm trying to do that and nothing is happening. That's the problem. So I decided to close one window and it worked. Okay. So I found a solution, like how to trick Zoom. Okay. Just a second. Pre-intermediate. I was there. Oh, okay. So we are at the stage. I'm sorry, now there will be this bar till the end of the lesson and this bug of my computer. I need to reload it, but I can't do this now. Sorry. Okay, so your students have read the text, this one, A Moment in History, and they have looked at the context, they have described the photo with the phrases they remember from the text. And they have underlined the actions that people were doing when the photographer took the photo. And after that, they are offered this this bit of information. Can you see it? Can you see my mouse? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are offered this part to analyze. Grammatically. And your task is to fund it. Is the situation clear?
Mhm.
Helen, does it make it more convenient for you? Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Just like of course I don't want to do all the procedure. Yeah, like I was planning what the students already done, and now the focus is on target language. So now you have 5 minutes to look at it and to plan your CCQs. Clear, leading, general, alternative, yes, no. Starting now. I forgot to mention that when planning your CCQs, you also plan students' possible answers. Make sure that the answers are desirable. Remember that your questions should refer to at least three elements: meaning, form, pronunciation. And here the use would also be appropriate, but it goes naturally from the context. Probably comes naturally. 1 minute to go. How are you? Do you need more time or is it enough? I don't understand.
Maybe 1 more minute.
Okay, 1 minute, okay. So that was 1 minute. How are you now? So Karen is ready. Anybody else? Oksana is ready.
Ready.
Yeah.
Katie, ready? Lena?
Yep.
More or less, okay. Lena?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, more or less. Mila?
Yeah.
Okay, then. That was a difficult thing to decide, and I'm not sure I know what I want to do. I mean, to name someone or to call a volunteer. Which would you prefer? That I name someone or call a volunteer?
I can be a volunteer because I think I have problems with this CCQ question. So
I can be a student this time.
Okay, great. So you've decided it all for myself. I just love it. When somebody makes decisions for me, it's perfect.
Okay, and I have never heard about past continuous, yes? As a student.
Yes, it's your first time. Perhaps you've seen it, in some places, in some texts, but you never paid real attention to. So, Mila, you are the teacher. You are working with this bit of information. Katie, you're a student of pre-intermediate level. You just revised past simple in the previous lesson. You text about these photos, and now there is this extract. Okay, so the task for you is, Mila, you ask questions, Katie, you answer. Katie, signal if something is unclear, but don't do too much, okay? So you're an adequate student,
Okay.
The task for the others, please listen, analyze what happening, analyze Mila's questions, compare them with yours, and think how you could change this or how you would behave in this situation, how you would change this, okay? Let's start now.
Okay, so now we have this exercise 2A. Please look at this box, and before you read the text, look at the read this text aloud and pay attention to the highlighted phrases. Okay, let's do it.
Sorry, Mila, you have remote.
I have remote. Oh, okay, perfect. Yes, so look at this text, which you can see here, and pay attention to the highlighted phrases. Okay, let's read them aloud.
When I took this photo, everybody was looking at the TV screens, waiting for the election results. Some people were quietly holding hands and smiling. Others were tense and nervous.
Yes, great. So now pay attention to the highlighted verbs in this extract. So do they describe actions that happened after he took the photo or at the same time as he took the photo?
I don't know. When I took this photo, everybody was looking at the TV screens. Maybe after he took the photo.
After he took the photo. Not exactly. Pay attention to the context. So when I took this photo, everybody was looking at the TV screens. So were they looking after he took the photo or at the same time when he was taking the photo?
Yes, at the same time. Okay,
yeah,
at the same
exactly. Time. Yes, at the same time. What about the second highlighted phrase?
Others, yeah, this is at the same time.
At the same time, exactly. So now look please at these highlighted phrases again, and what auxiliary verbs do we use here?
Auxiliary, I don't remember what is auxiliary verbs.
Like do, does, am, is, are, or was,
was and were.
Yes. So in what cases do we use was, and in what cases do we use were?
For example, I was a student.
Yeah. So which form was or were do we use with plural nouns?
Again, sorry.
Which verb do we use with plural nouns, like was or were?
Were with plural were.
Yeah. And which one do we use with singular?
Was.
Was, exactly. And now look at the main verb here in the highlighted phrase. So what is special about it? What part does it contain?
Oh, we have ing at the end.
Yes, exactly. So and now find the actions in this sentence which happened, like the main action which happened at the same time with this one.
With was looking?
Yes, with this highlighted.
Waiting for the election results.
Not exactly. It's like the process, but the main action which happened at the same time with this one.
I took this photo.
Yeah, exactly. And in the second sentence?
Others were tense and nervous.
That's right. So what tense do we use in this main sentence?
Present simple. I know it.
Not
it's past simple. I'm sorry.
Simple.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Okay, so basically these highlighted phrases are present continuous. So let's remember again, when does this action happen?
At the same time or in the past?
Yeah. As the main action.
Yeah. At the same time as he took the photo.
That's right. Is it an action in the progress in the past tense?
Was looking. Yes, it is progress.
Yeah, that's right. So past continuous, it's the progress. It's an action in progress in the past. And how do we pronounce the ing ending?
In.
In, that's right. Okay, so that's all.
I would ask as a student, what is waiting for the election results? Why? Because I had this question. When I tried to explain past continuous to my student, he couldn't understand what is waiting for the election results. So, like, why we compare was looking at the TV screens with when I took this photo, but don't look at waiting for the election results.
Yeah. So probably I can explain that it's a gerund. Yeah. So they were. Everybody was looking at the TV screens. Doing like, why were they looking there? They were waiting for the election results. Yeah.
Okay, done? Okay, thank you. Sorry. In order to be able to highlight, I need to have this. Okay, good. So This is what Mila did and how Katie reacted. Katie, thank you for being such a good student. Mila, thanks for your volunteering. Okay, and now, first let's listen to Mila. How was it? Do you think it worked well?
No.
Oh, really? I'm surprised to hear that.
Could have been
0 or what?
Could have been better, I think. I think I have like a problem. I often have this problem how to formulate them totally clear and totally logical. So like the student would generate the answers and realize it step by step. Yes.
Are you talking about the order of questions?
Probably the order of questions and maybe. Yeah, the order of questions, this logical line of this question.
Okay, Katie, how was the order of questions? Did you feel that it was in a good order? It was.
Yes, especially when the question was so no. When question was about was and were. It seems to me that maybe it should go somewhere first, because after understanding that these two actions were at the same time, it was strange to analyze is it past or present time, like this. So.
Okay. Now, the other participants, please. Do you have any? Yes, Irina.
I would like to start my first question is here. Is this part of the text about past, present, or future? They should first understand what we are talking about. Because it can be confusing a little bit. Then it would, can I continue?
Sure.
Yeah, so then I had quite the similar questions about like this, focusing on this part, which is highlighted, was looking at the TV screen. This action is happening after the photographer took the photo or at the same time.
Sure.
Like I paraphrased a little bit, this one from the example. And I wanted to explain that this is the process, and I had some problems how to explain that taking a photo is like 1 second action, like something like that. It's not a process, like take a picture, and that looking, smiling, holding, it usually takes like more time. How to explain this, how to
ask a question again.
Which one? Helen, which question?
How much time does it take you to take a photo, or what? To press the button?
No, really, I would ask differently. I would ask to look at the highlighted part, only at that, and I would ask, is it about short, finished action, or is it about action in process, in progress? And they already understand such words, short and progress. Usually they say...
And progress, yeah?
Yeah.
Or long. Yeah, I use the word long. Progress.
I use progress, but...
Okay, Helen has already used this word a lot with her students. Not all my students at this level understand because they might be new pre-intermediate. So if I use long, I feel safer. Okay, if now your students respond to progress, all right. Okay. More comments?
Yeah, I have some comments also.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so first I would concentrate the attention of the student on the main verb. Yeah, so it's more important, like to look what form does it have? What do we have in the end? Yeah, so we have this ink. Yeah.
This is a very interesting comment. I have a comment here too. What do you mean by the main verb? What exactly do you mean?
Let's find the action, like in the maybe I wouldn't say the main verb because it's a bit confusing, like auxiliary, main, like plural, single, too many.
So what would you say? What would you say?
I would say let's find action. Yeah, let's find action in this yellow part. Yeah, action.
Or verb, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so The
Okay.
verb.
Yeah, it's pre-intermediate. They know.
What form does it have? And then what do we have before? Yeah, like we have was and we have where. Like what is it? Yeah, so this is the verb to be in the past. Yeah, I wouldn't, for example, I think I wouldn't say this word singular and plural. Of course, they should know it, but it can be a little bit like confusing for them. Like many words, you know, like hard for them to understand maybe. And I would say like, why do like the yeah, here is a bit also hard.
Why do we have was and were? Like
Yeah, like because there is I, yeah, like I. Okay, so we use I, was with I. What else? Yeah, like that maybe.
Irina, you're going slightly away. If you say I, it's not presented here. First, we need to work with this bit of information, and I is not here. Okay. I want to go back to the verb. The verb in the first sentence. I mean, in the first highlighted phrase. What's the verb?
Looking.
Looking.
No.
In the yellow highlighted, yeah, this yellow part.
Yes, in the first highlighted phrase, what's the verb?
Was looking.
Exactly. And if you like immediately take it as one thing, because it is one thing, it just consists. Then many of the questions like will just disappear. So where's the verb? This. Okay. How many parts does it have? 2. First part. What's the second part? Then you always remember that past continuous. Yeah, like later you will come to the conclusion that it's past continuous. Yeah, and it always has 2 parts, and the first part is always this, and the second part is always this.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah. And after you've clarified that these 2 words is actually one verb, then you can analyze bits of it, yes? And then the question about was and were is logical, yeah? Look, we have was looking and were holding. What's the difference? Okay, looking and holding different verbs, all right. What else? Was were. Okay, why? And then in Mila's case, there was a focus was and were, which is plural and which is singular. I would do it in a slightly different way. What could you suggest? Oh, ladies, I'm speaking to everybody. It's like if you say was and were, and which one is singular and which one is plural, this might be a bit misleading.
Probably to pay attention to the nouns like everybody and people. Yeah.
Like is it he, she, it form? Is it are you with they form? Like
yeah, or like well, first of course I would just say was and were. Why here we have was? Why do we have was in the first one and were in the second one? And then if they have difficulties, yeah, like Katie said that, okay, remember, for example, yes, then I would not just say which is plural, which is singular. I would help the student understand, and then I would refer to the word everybody, or everybody and people. There's a bit of a trick with everybody, and then you will have to remember everybody is like he, she, but it's possible, yeah. All right, yeah.
I like to ask questions like people. Is it one person or a lot of people?
Sure, very good. And everybody, like here, I think the genius English file course books writers have it here for our convenience. Where else will you have such a wonderful chance? Remind your students that everybody in English is singular, right? So, like, thank you, English file writers. Okay, good. More comments about what happened and what, how this presentation went.
Maybe to add more about pronunciation. No. like in and maybe was and were.
What's special about pronunciation here?
And maybe also like to study intonations and pronouncing them together.
Yes.
Was
Yes.
looking at.
Yeah, what's special about them here? Like, let's make sure we understand what's special.
Like two parts of the sentence. So when I took this photo, everybody was looking at the two screens.
Okay, just repetition, but if you analyze it, just as knowledge, what's special about it?
Was aware, not stressed. Yeah.
Was looking.
Yeah, and it's very good to help your students know that, yes? To draw their attention maybe once again, maybe a 10th time in your course. That positive auxiliary verbs are not stressed. They are stressed in questions, in the yes, no, in all other, and in short answers, okay. Yes, in positive sentences, no. Yeah, Mila, did you have a question?
Yeah, another one. Should I like direct attention to this past simple in the second form, which usually isn't it?
You might, if you really want to. I would just take the first example. The second example is not so clear. I would take the first example and I would say, so the action which is long, what grammar is it? It's this. And the action which is short, what grammar is it? I would do that. So these are my suggestions. What are yours? From Oksana, from Lena. Do you have any other comments?
I have one more question. So, do we need to tell or ask about the name of the tense form? Is it necessary to ask, is it past simple or past continuous? Or we call this tense past continuous. So is it necessary or not?
So what?
Because I'm confused about that, because I think that when the student is studying some grammar material, they should know the name of the tense form.
So
when it's time to give that name of the tense form.
I think yes, and for my student, one of my student likes to know what is continuous, and I should explain. So continue, it's when you're doing something for a long time like this, and oh yes, now I understand. So someone likes it. So.
One opinion more.
Yeah, usually my students also ask like, what is the name of the tense? Yeah, so but it should be also after the presentation, after like asking these all the questions, so like and like conclusion. Yeah, so this tense is called like past continuous.
So today we were talking about present or past continuous. Congratulations, ladies.
Yeah.
Okay. More opinions, or are they the same?
We agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Okay, and I will tell you what I was taught. So the position about it is approximately like this. So yes, at some point, it's you who chooses which point is logical, but I think that it should be somewhere after presentation of form. So when your student, well, for me, it's the most convenient. It's like when you already know how it works, and then you finally know the name of it. So yes, you do give it a name. And it's very often convenient to be able to refer to this name, but your students don't have to remember all the names of the tense. From my experience as a student, I also know that, for example, in Spanish, for a long time, and not just for a long time, right until I started teaching, I couldn't remember the names because they're so complicated that what human being can actually remember those names. But when the teacher asked me, so in this situation, what grammar do you need? And I said, okay, yeah, aber. And she said, yes, okay. So I just told her the ending, so I know how to build the form, but I have no slightest idea like what the name of this form is.
Yep.
So, but I can use it. The most important thing for a student is to be able to use it.
Okay, can I ask you some questions, additional questions about that? Or commands to say it like this. So we should present a set like this to teach students not only positive form but negative questions. And in this case, we have no example from this short to say it like this passage. So I think it would be necessary for students to come back to the text, maybe to find the sentences in negative form in the context, and to ask where do we have not, and maybe to find some questions and to say how do we form question, or what do we have in the first place in the sentence or in the question, or maybe to come to grammar bank, which is very useful for English file, to give some time for the student to read the some practical, not practical, but some information about the tense. Maybe ask questions, so which wasn't told before about that information, because it's necessary to give short answers to the questions to form the negative form. And it's so positive, it's not enough, I think.
I'm sorry, what exactly is not enough?
Only just
Positive.
only positive form, it's not enough. So they should know that we can say wasn't and weren't. They should know how to form the question. So I would like, so the first, the last part of the concept checking question should be about the forms of these tense.
The forms?
Forms, yes. And of course, using grammar bank, I think it would be very useful as well.
And just a second. You said that it should be the last. Do you mean after pronunciation?
No, not after pronunciation. It will be the last part after, or maybe in the part when we talk about the verb.
Okay. There is a question to everybody. When do we need to talk about the negative and question forms? Do we need to talk about it after the positive sentences and pronunciation, or before?
I think after.
Yeah, in order not to confuse. Yeah, I agree. I think we should do it after. And probably it's appropriate even to do it like after the pronunciation as well. So not to mix all of those forms and to do it logically.
And maybe even after practice of positive sentences. Because
let's remember the following. If we remember like the rules about thumb, yes, and we remember that we start with meaning,
form
to form, yes, and then we go to pronunciation. There was one rule, very important. It's not always like 100% rule, but in most cases it works really well. What shouldn't you do with this element?
Shouldn't?
Yeah, like for example, I start talking about meaning, I speak a little bit about form, then I go back to meaning, and then I finish the form, and then I go to pronunciation, and then go back to form.
Like jump from one to another? Or
yeah, so how does it sound if you do it like this? Like
confusing.
Yeah, mess.
So the kind of a strong recommendation would be not to break them into parts. Yes, there are cases when it's better to do it like part by part, but there aren't many really. So in most cases you would finish the meaning, then do everything with the form. Yes, you work with positive. Yeah, then you then you work with negative and question, and now it's a question to you. How would you present the negative and question based on this material? How would you do that?
I think the quickest option is to form the negative form on your own, to print it the same sentence with not, and to ask the concept checking questions. It's the quickest.
Oksana, you're being descriptive. Okay? Can you please ask the questions or like pronounce the questions which you would ask your student about this form? How would you lead your students towards understanding?
So I give the example. I print the same question. I wasn't looking at the screens and the question.
Just a second. This is the context that we have.
Go to Grammar Bank. There is a table with forms.
Yes, it's possible to go to Grammar Bank to look at the table and to ask.
Okay.
When do we want to say no, for example? What do we add to say no?
Okay. This might be a good way, but I think you can use your students' resources better.
You can say like, which form is this sentence? His student will say like, it's positive form. Yeah. How do you think? What do we need to add to make it negative?
Yeah.
And like he says like, we add not. How do you think? Where can we put this not to make it negative? And he like suggested he will say like, was not looking at the screen. So if you say was not, what form is it? Is it positive or already negative? It's already negative. Like this way maybe.
I would just ask, okay, blah, 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 what form is it? It's positive. Or I would better look, if I just say what form are these sentences?
No, they usually don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, or is it positive or negative?
Or negative.
Yeah, alternative.
Negative for questions, because this is what we're going to talk.
That's why I asked, how do you say no?
Yeah, okay.
That's the easiest option.
Okay, yeah. And then, yeah, like, are the sentences positive, negative for questions? And then they say, okay, positive, sorry. And the next question which I would ask would be just, how do you make a negative? And they make the first example. Okay, the second example, how do you make a negative? Okay, great, bravo. Okay, how do you make a question? Like this? No, not like this, try again. Okay, maybe like this. Oh, yes, that's better. Make the same with the second. And this, to my mind, it's better than just referring to the grammar bank. This way, you are using the student resources. Your student is experimenting with the language. And in fact, it's not elementary, it's pre-intermediate. They can already have some ideas. With elementary, perhaps what Oksana said, yes, looking at specific examples, because I've never seen anything like that before, would be the best, yes. With pre-intermediate, you can already rely a lot on their previous experience. And if they make a mistake, okay, you suggest them to think of something else, for example, yes? And they have enough information to be able to. All right.
Can I add more comments?
Okay, yeah.
I like this unit in English file, and I know the past continuous is the tense form, which needs a lot of explanation and a lot of asking questions. So this passage is not enough, I think, for usage for the last option, because if we rely on native teachers to say it like that, we have three options to usage it. So some specific time in the past, so two actions, past simple, past continuous, and two actions happening at the same time, two past continuous. So I'm not going to give a command. I would like to ask you how to show that past continuous is used in these three options using this small passage.
Not at this level, it's pre-intermediate.
Okay, yeah. This was the question I wanted to ask. What level is this student? How many uses of this grammar is a student able to analyze at this stage?
Just one.
Just one? For past continuous, just one?
Well, look, we're looking at the context in this lesson. It's the first time the student has ever seen this grammar. And frankly, it's just enough. Let your student cope with this little bit and apply it into their life, right? And after that, after they've digested this bit of information, they might be ready to add something to this. But if you give them too much food, they might not be able to digest it. Like the information is the same as like food, you know, so very similar. And that's why in the book, not all cases are presented immediately.
But in this book, all cases are presented.
Yes, but in this, like here at this part,
Yes. Sorry,
on this.
Yes,
In
yes,
grammar, we will read everything.
Okay.
In grammar, we will have all 3 points.
Yes, and doing exercises in Grammar Bank, they give sentences connected to these 3 points of usage. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, very good. So I think that the best way is first to focus on this situation with these photos, right? And understand it. Then to practice a little bit with these photos. And after that, go to Grammar Bank and see what else there is. But first focus on this. And this is exactly what this book suggests. Because here in this presentation, the focus is only on this case, only. Yeah, so first let's understand this. And after that, we can add. Because like if you put it all together, it's just, well, there are different people, but for most people, on the first try. All right. A couple of comments from me and we're finishing. So first, well, I think it's not so important at the moment. The student, Katie, had difficulties understanding whether this action happened after or at the same time as the photographer took the photo. What could you do?
Again, yeah, like talk about short and long actions. Pay attention to that.
The thing, I think, is to look at the photo. Okay. Look, this is the moment when the photographer took the photo. Did they finish looking, or are they in the middle of looking? In the middle. Okay. So after or at the same time? At the same time. You have context.
Yeah.
There is everything in context. Just like use it more. Okay, because theoretically it's difficult. Just look at the photo. Finished or in the middle? This comment and this commented. Okay. I have a comment about this gerund. Katie said about this waiting for election results, right? And Milan started talking about gerunds. Remember one of the characteristics of CCQs? What language shouldn't CCQs contain? Or you explain?
Unfamiliar.
Yeah, and at this level, well, your student probably has never seen this word before, has never heard it. So how would you deal with this thing?
Leave it.
Sorry?
I would say that it's not the same what we are talking actually about, because before waiting, we don't have was or where. Or I would ask questions. Do we have something before it? Like was, where, before waiting?
Okay, one solution, yeah.
In this point, I wouldn't explain what is this waiting. I just maybe will explain like it's like everybody was looking at the TV screens and was waiting for the election results. But in this case, this was just missed. So just believe me and forget for this time.
Yeah.
We'll speak about it later. Yeah, like this. In the future, I will explain you. But for now, it's like was looking at and was waiting for the election results.
Okay. One more solution. Okay. More ideas? Okay, there are no more ideas. I would probably do something very similar, but I wouldn't even explain what that is. I would say it's slightly different. Don't focus on it now. Let's.
Yeah.
Just different. Not for us now. Later. Okay. because during the presentation, the idea is to focus on what we're doing. Okay. So, I actually imagined that we would be able to do 2 or 3 presentations. It's clear that we have more comments, more issues, and more things to clarify and discuss than I had expected. Okay. Anyway, what's your feeling? Did you find this practice fruitful?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we should do it more often, maybe.
Yes, and it seems to me that we have a lot of questions. For example, I have a question how to explain what is stress, stressed word in the sentence to my students, because especially elementary students, they don't understand. And even only when I doing like this was looking at the TV screens, you know, like very when I'm moving my head very active, only in these cases they understand, but when they just listen to the audio or video.
Let's do it like this, ladies. Does everybody have my Skype?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm usually available. If I'm not answering immediately, this means that answer later. You may drop a line or 2 like about what exactly practical or not practical questions you have. This will make my life a little easier, yeah, thinking of what exactly your needs are. And this will help me create something which you really need. Yes, now I'm trying to guess, judging from the lessons I see. And you may do this like directly. Just tell me what you want to talk about, what you want to practice. All right? And then we will talk to Marina and discuss what's the most important thing. All right?
Yeah. Good idea.
Thank you very much for participation. I hope it will help you in your work, and hope to see better presentations in your lessons. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.